Hey everybody, Grimble here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be reacting to the Season 1 finale of My Adventures with Superman. So we're finally here, the last episode of the first season of My Adventures with Superman, and I gotta say, it's been a blast. This show has meant a lot to me as a Superman fan. If you guys could tell by my last reaction, I got quite emotional. It was very wonderful to see the emotions that they allowed to happen in that episode, that they allowed the characters to feel, that they made you feel as, you know, Lois is giving her speech, as the people stand up and rise up to support Superman. And it was just, it all came together really, really, really well. And while there's still some outstanding questions and things that haven't quite been revealed or answered yet, I think it was a very satisfying precursor to the final episode of the season. The key takeaways, though, were that we got some answers to a little bit of where this tech comes from. Supposedly, it came at the same time that Clark came when he was younger, through some portal. And the assumption is, or Clark's assumption is, that it's Kryptonian, much like him, and therefore his people must not be that great. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to actually go that route. I'm not sure that they're going to say that the Kryptonians were planning on invading Earth. I highly doubt that. That's a huge change if they do that. My guess is still more towards the dark side of things, and Clark coming through is somehow related to some sort of war or battle that was going on with Krypton and possibly Darkseid. Now, this is just a wild guess that I have, but I just don't see that being the case where the Kryptonians were bad, unless, now this is also a possibility, it has something to do with Zod and him coming to Earth and maybe even chasing Clark from Krypton. Also a possibility. You know, maybe the Phantom Zone thing didn't really happen. He didn't get stuck in the Phantom Zone and he was chasing Clark's ship. Now, what happened to him in that moment, I don't know, maybe he did get put in the Phantom Zone in that moment, and that's kind of what we saw as the ships were coming through to Earth. But yeah, this is all speculation on my part. I don't really know. I am super anxious to find out. I'm sure many of you already know because you're probably through season 2 already. So for me, this is all new. I'm excited. Let's jump right into My Adventures with Superman, episode 10. If you guys are interested in signing up to my Patreon, you'll be able to take advantage of ad-free content, 3 to 4 weeks early access to all reactions, which for the middle tier and above can include the full-length watch-along reactions. Those that subscribe to the highest tier will also be supporting my game and animation studio, Little Grim Entertainment. You'll have access to a sneak peek look at all of our upcoming games and animated shows. We're back at the farm. Oh. Is it a dream? Yeah? Is it a dream? It has to be a dream. Yeah. That's terrifying. I had a feeling it would be him. Yep.
I know why you sent me here. You tried to conquer this planet. I won't let that happen. I'm not like you. I'll never be like you.
It says you don't understand.
Again, I'll be here to stop you.
Oh. Probably should have spoke English a little sooner.
For hosting me and my dad for Thanksgiving.
Oh.
I'm so excited.
Oh. Here it is. Oh.
I need your help finding the general.
It'll be at Thanksgiving.
The guy who kidnapped and then tried to kill you.
It's fine.
I have to keep Earth safe from Krypton, and he's the only person who has the answers.
You're sure he hasn't seen the terrifying evil Superman data sphere?
No, and you are gonna help me make sure he never does.
Oh.
We said no more secrets!
What are you guys talking about?
Secrets.
Nothing, just about how excited we are to go to work.
Hey, Chief.
He doesn't look happy.
What did you do?
Well, just the usual stuff.
You three have brought me more trouble than every other intern we've ever had.
Oh.
Save Superman by Lois Lane, Clark Kent, and Jimmy Olsen. That's us.
Oh, wow.
You're terrible interns. So the only thing to do was to make you reporters.
Oh, yay. Good job. Oh. 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 They're bros now. Oh. That's sweet.
Half of you have deadlines and the other half are leaving early today.
Why are they leaving early?
Lane, go.
Oh, Thanksgiving, duh.
But I need you to stay on
Oh, man.
talk about Flame Bird.
Oh, yeah. That'd be a little bit of a conflict of interest, I imagine.
Lois Lane, we are so proud of you.
Our article. You had it framed.
It's only the nicest thing I've ever read.
Well, you know that Clark's the one who saved the city.
And he couldn't have done it without you. Clark, peel potatoes.
After his powers showed up, Clark was so scared of hurting someone that he kept himself at a distance. But now he has you with him.
Oh.
So again, Lois Lane, thank you.
It's true, too. You needed that.
I'll help you find the general. No.
That was fast. Here's the general.
Come on, what's the worst that could happen?
He's rude to you, and Mom, and Pa, and then everybody hates me.
He's the general.
Nothing can change the way I feel about you.
I can't wait till I'm right.
Not even your grumpy dad.
Happy Thanksgiving! Dad, this is my
Oh,
boyfriend.
man.
Clark, meet my dad.
Hi, hello. Mr. Lane?
Please, call me General Lane.
Yeah, Lois, you failed to mention he was a general.
So, you look familiar, Kent. Have we met before?
Yep.
Just have one of those faces.
Sam, you must be so proud of Lois.
She's a Lane. It's what we expect.
Oh.
What are you doing with your life, Kent?
Wow.
Just the other day, he saved the entire city.
Stores! Saved money at the store. Money in the kitchen.
No, do not leave me here with
Be right back.
What was she gonna say? Save the city.
Thank you for spending Thanksgiving with me.
Oh.
I'm glad you could make it.
Mrs. Kent said something about success.
Oh, I had my first article published. Ta-da! You haven't read it, have you? You never read what I write.
Lois, I've been busy.
Yeah, with what?
Trying to kill your boyfriend.
I wish I could remember where I've seen you before. Always wear glasses.
Hey, everybody, I have news.
Oh, boy.
It's Jimmy!
Let me show you the kitchen. Lois's dad is the general who tried to kill me.
What? You told Lois?
How am I supposed to do that?
James, I hate Lois's father.
Oh, no. Poor Jimmy.
Don't tell me. But this turkey is refusing to come to town.
Do you have something to tell me?
I don't know who you are.
Jimmy!
Hey, Jimmy, just a couple of...
No.
Nope. Oh, boy. Poor Jimmy.
Clark, you are going to tell Lois about her dad. Then you are both going to thank me for my emotional maturity and for bringing your stuff which you left at the planet.
Good guy, Jimmy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Wait, Clark.
What is this?
Clark, this isn't you. Clark? Clark? Clark, what's going on?
Kryptonite, a poison gin.
That's the Brainiac symbol.
The Rock.
activated it.
Mr. Kent, Mrs. Kent, I know this sounds unbelievable, but we are standing at ground zero of an alien invasion. I need you all to evacuate now.
Dad!
Lane here. Deploy all assets to my location ASAP.
Be right back.
This escalated quickly.
I have to make sure everyone gets away before I deal with the ship.
Deal with the ship? How are you gonna do that? It's huge and
Our son is Superman, Jonathan.
Very hostile. Like the first episode all over again. Oh, it stops them. I guess it makes sense.
Nemesis Omega has landed.
Lois.
It's you. You're the general. The one who kidnapped Superman. It's you. It's all been you.
Lois, there's so much more to this.
Oh, that's a big one.
That's what she said!
Jimmy went that way.
Lois, stop!
Jimmy. How did you do all this?
Jimmy's a boss. Oh. Okay, who's that?
I have to stop it. Lois, the sphere.
No. I'm not letting you sacrifice yourself to save us.
That rock is the only thing that can destroy my ship and close the portal.
It'll kill you, Clark. I love you and I can't lose you.
Stop it!
Wait. No.
Man.
Come back.
Are they gonna fight him? Yeah? Does jor-el not control them? Uh-oh. It's music. Man. There you go, jor-el. What was that? Ooh. How's he gonna get it up there? Ouch. Whose ship is that? Oh. Is somebody still on there though? Come on, jor-el. Your help would be nice. Yeah, there you go.
Report this for kryptonite, Etienne.
I had to stop your invasion. I had to protect my family.
Kal-El, my son,
There we go.
live.
Oh, they were above Earth? Seemed like they were in another realm.
I need you to get out of the way, Lois. I have orders to kill the alien invader who caused all this.
He didn't cause this. He's the one
I know, you think he's a hero, Lois. But there are things you do not know.
That man risked everything to protect our world. If you care about me at all, let him go.
General, what's your situation?
This is Lane. False alarm. Stand down.
What? General!
Okay, the turkey is still not to tempt.
Attaboy, Clark.
Great. Dinner is served.
Oh, wait, James, you said you had something to share.
Oh, right. I sold Flamebird to the Daily Planet for $5.6 million. Pass the yams, please.
Oh. Wow. Who's that?
Unexpected.
Brainiac. Alright, yeah. Makes more sense now.
I have found a new planet for you. It is a planet in rebellion.
Let them rebel. It does not matter. In the end, they will kneel.
It's Zod! Ah! Okay, that was the season 1 finale of My Adventures with Superman. Fantastic. Loved it. It was a great sort of culmination of everything that has built up to this point, you know, including the relationships he's built with everybody. You had Thanksgiving is a perfect way to showcase that. It being Thanksgiving is such a great way to say this is sort of a culmination of all the relationships you've built up to this point. Because you have Jimmy there, you have Lois there, you have the people that are closest to you, and they all know who you are at heart, beyond just being a superhero as Superman or some just random reporter guy intern at the Daily Planet. This is Clark for everything that you are, including your powers and all. And that's what I love to see. I said it at the very beginning of this season. The very first reaction that I did was, I hope that this show can showcase that third version of Clark really well, and it has done absolutely that. Now, the ending of it, I was off by it being Darkseid. And in retrospect to Darkseid is sort of the end-all be-all villain for the Superman universe, so it makes sense that that comes a little later. But I don't know why I didn't think of either Brainiac or Zod until I mentioned Zod, I think, at the intro of this episode. It did come to my mind then, and so I was right. And at some point, you know, it took me a little while to get there, but Zod makes perfect sense that he would be the Kryptonian that would be menacing, would be threatening, would actually want to take over the Earth. So all this tech is Kryptonian tech, and he's using it against these people and wanting to invade, and it's a threat to the world itself. Now, I didn't see the twist, because that's a bit of a twist, having Brainiac work with Zod. That's not something that I've ever seen before. So, and it makes a lot of sense, because Brainiac traditionally is, well, a lot of the times he was created by Jor-el as a scientist to aid the Kryptonian people, you know, who's sort of an artificial intelligence, an AI that would help with various things among Krypton. And then, you know, as a lot of AI stories go, he got a mind of his own and decided that the Kryptonians were not worthy, and, you know, even ditched them when Krypton was being destroyed. So it's interesting to see, and it makes a lot of sense that maybe this version of Brainiac was corrupted or really believes that Zod is the true way for Kryptonians, and his sort of programming is to help Zod out in any way possible. That could be, maybe Brainiac has his own agenda, I don't know. Now, I keep saying Zod, Zod, Zod. And, you know, for those of you that watched this first season or maybe following along with me and don't know what I'm talking about, the guy at the end, that Kryptonian, was most definitely Zod. And so Zod, if you're not aware, is a very prominent Superman villain. He was a general on Krypton, and he, you know, in most of the stories, he is somebody that started a revolt, a revolution. It didn't go his way. Most of the time, he ends up being imprisoned in the Phantom Zone as a result of his crimes, his war crimes. So he's a Kryptonian, just like Superman, but he is obviously a very bad dude, and he is very power hungry and sees himself as a capable ruler or more or less dictator, right? And he believes he deserves that power and being revered by all. He's got an ego, that's for sure. So, and the tell for me was when he said they will all kneel. And that's 100% a throwback to the Christopher Reeves films where Zod shows up. His big line is kneel before Zod. You can probably find it memed everywhere. It's a very well-known line from that show, so that had to be a tie-in there. So it all makes sense. And I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner. I was pretty dead set on the dark side theory. I think what threw me off on the Dark Side series was early on they said they got the tech from the crazy lady, which made me think of Granny Goodness. But now, in retrospect, it was probably Amanda Waller that they were talking about. So that's kind of what led me along those lines. And then when I started questioning, you know, whose tech it could be, I was like, because they brought up it could be Kryptonian, and I was like, nah, Kryptonians wouldn't do that. And I don't know why I never thought of Zod in that moment. It seems obvious now at this point, but regardless of which, I never came to that conclusion until right before this episode, ironically. So either way, I loved it. It was perfect. It was everything I could have asked for in a Superman show. This entire season has been phenomenal. And I really can't wait to see what they do with it going forward. I'm curious to see what they do with General Lane, especially because, which, by the way, I have to get a yes in there, because that is something I called from, I think the first episode he was introduced was General Lane, Lois's father, and man, it did not disappoint. You know, even though I saw it coming, I wasn't expecting it to be as emotional as it was, as emotionally driven as it was. And there was a moment in this episode where I got teary-eyed again, and this show it comes out of nowhere for me, and most shows don't do that with me. And I was trying to figure out, after the last time, I think it was the last episode, that I also got really emotional. I was like, why am I getting so emotional over this show, where most shows I don't really get that deep into it? And I think it's because it means so much to me as a Superman fan. Like, look, Superman is my childhood. I grew up with him, like I said before, the Christopher Reeves films. I love the character, the 90s Bruce Timm series. And there's a lot of disdain out there for Superman, especially as a DC character. People think he's boring or lame, uninteresting, and they've tried to rectify that, I think, the wrong way. And I understand a lot of people's concerns, because there have been portrayals of Superman that has been kind of lame and boring, and I get the idea of the sort of surface level understanding of Superman, why that would be pretty boring, because he does seem very overpowered. He can be defeated by something as simple as a rock, you know, and I get all of the hate that I've heard towards Superman. I understand it. But I think what a lot of it is the portrayals of Superman have not been great recently. And the way they tried to rectify it with the Man of Steel in particular was take a kind, fun-loving character like Superman, good-hearted, light-hearted character like Superman, and put the Batman spin on him and make him dark and make him edgy, and it just didn't work. Now, I realize and I recognize that there are tons of fans of the Zack Snyder universe, and no disrespect to you guys. If you enjoyed it, you have every right to enjoy that version of Superman. But for me, it was a complete opposite of what I love and cherish about Superman. I love his heart. I love his relationships with people. I love the humor that sometimes you see out of him. And he is very different. In fact, the dynamic between Batman and Superman works. It's so fun to watch because they are complete opposites of each other in every conceivable way. You know, because Clark is an alien, but in most cases, Clark seems more human than Batman, because Batman's humanity has been completely just beaten out of him by circumstances, his life. He is completely negative about the viewpoint of the world, of people, because he lives in Gotham, which is a shitty town, and anybody that would live in there long enough would just assume the worst out of people. And so Batman has a very cynical look on the world. Even though he's human, he doesn't want, it's like he doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be associated with us, these people. Superman is not human, but he sees the good in humanity. And yeah, there's bad. He gets that. But he wants to bring out the good. He wants to see the good in people, whereas Batman thinks there's kind of no hope for a lot of them. So, and, you can make cases for either viewpoint. So I'm not going to say who's right, who's wrong. It's just about those opposing viewpoints and personalities are what make them so fun together when they interact with each other. And so to have Superman essentially mimic the personality and traits of Batman, you get rid of that dynamic between the two of them. And it doesn't work. I didn't enjoy it. For me, again, personally, I thought it was abysmal. I really did. I'm sorry. It was just, and I love Henry Cavill. I love Henry Cavill. I honestly feel like he could and would make a fantastic Superman given the right script and the right directing. I think he would be fantastic. And he would be my choice to be Superman again. But not going back to that Zack Snyder universe. I think going far away from that is necessary. And not too far away, because I think the opposite end of the spectrum, you have Superman Returns. Now, I also like Brandon Routh as an actor. I think he's phenomenal. I enjoyed him in League of Legends and Legends of Tomorrow. It's a video game. Sorry. I enjoyed him in Legends of Tomorrow, but his take on Superman was basically to just recreate what Christopher Reeves had done, over a decade prior to when he did it. And it was too campy. It was too over the top. We got another Lex Luthor and wanting this real estate scam and all that stuff. And so and he didn't punch anything. And so what I see Hollywood do all the time is overcorrect. They have one side where it's just super campy. He never hits a damn thing. There's hardly any cool action. It's this kooky Lex Luthor that just can't be taken seriously. And they're like, well, that didn't work, so let's just go way over here and have a dark and brooding Superman and a weird childlike Lex Luthor that is just crazy, and it was like too much. There's a middle ground, guys. You don't have to go one way or the other. There's a middle ground. And that's where Superman lives. He lives in that middle ground. He has heart. He has kindness. He can be funny and campy at times. But at the same time, you can put him in serious situations with that personality to make an engaging action film. And I really hope that James Gunn can achieve that with Superman. And I also really hope, getting back to this series, because I know I've strayed a bit, so I apologize, but getting back to this series, I really hope James Gunn looks at this show as a template for something that will work. Now, I don't know how involved James Gunn was with this, because I know he's sort of over all of DC at this point, but I hope he's paying close attention to this show in particular, with the Superman one coming up. Because if he can achieve what they've done here in live action, I will be in heaven. James Gunn will be my hero forever, because as a Superman fan, I've been dying for the live action universe for Superman that I've always wanted. Because even the Christopher Reeves films, as great as they were, as perfect as they were for the time, they didn't really achieve quite that. This show is so far it probably is the best Superman content I've ever seen. It hits everything. It hits all the notes, the characters, everything. It just hits, and it's perfect. And I hope that the film universe can emulate some of this to some degree. Now, it probably won't be as goofy or campy as this show, because it is an animation, and so people expect a little bit more lightheartedness for whatever reason out of animation. But I think they can get close, especially James Gunn with his humor, from Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that. That's a perfect, way to showcase the humor that can be involved in a Superman story. So I really, I don't want to delay this reaction, this discussion much longer than I already have. I guess I didn't really get into all the details of this show for the most part, but I'm trying to give an overall view of, because this is the finale of the first season, of what this show has meant to me, why I love it so much, why I can't wait to start the second season. And it's all because of what they have done with Superman as a character, with his relationship building. I love every character in this show. I think they've nailed it. And even we haven't seen much. I got to bring up Pa Kent, man, because they haven't really showcased Pa as much in this show, and it's mostly been Martha. But man, Jonathan was fun. He's different than what I expected as a Jonathan Kent, because Jonathan Kent's usually the more grounded one, but he was just kind of along for the ride. All this shit was going on behind him and the craziness, and he's just worried about his damn turkey getting cooked just right, and he can't do it, the poor guy. I loved it. It was great. It's just, again, overall, this series has the heart, has the humor, has the fun, and I really, really appreciate it. So, I don't think anybody that made this show will ever watch these reactions, but in the event that they do, I just want to say thank you. As a Superman fan, longtime Superman fan, this has meant a lot to me, and I cannot wait to finish the second season and then look forward to more coming from you guys. But yeah, guys, tell me what you think. Please keep the conversation going in the comments section. How did you guys feel about this first season after watching it? How do you guys feel about the show overall? Hitting all the right character emotions, character feelings, focusing on what matters in a Superman story, and not too much on the hero thing, and a little bit more on the relationship sides. How do you guys feel about all of this? I really want to know. And for those of you that are Superman fans, where does this rank among all the Superman content that you've seen or consumed? Be it comics, films, television series, whatever. Where does this rank for you guys? Because for me, it's up there, if not number one. It's very close. And I have a feeling after 2 seasons of this, if it maintains this level of consistency and storytelling and emotional depth that it has, it's gonna be top on the list for me. So tell me, guys, how does it rank? What do you guys feel about the series overall? For me, the emotion and the humor, it hits on a very same level as Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is my favorite animated show of all time, maybe even one of my favorite shows of all time. I don't think there is another more perfectly told story in its entirety than Avatar: The Last Airbender for me. And this is hitting a very similar tone, relationships, character building as that show did. And that is a high praise coming from me, because trust me, that is a very high bar. And yeah, I love it. So guys, don't forget, if you enjoyed the content, the discussion today, any of that, please like this video. It'll help me out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And check out my Patreon page. If you're a Superman fan like I am, there's some cool Superman content that I will be posting on Patreon exclusively for members at the highest tier. But even if you don't want the highest tier, the other tiers are great too. They give you things like ad-free content. You get to see the full watch-along reactions for all the shows I'm watching, including this one. I'm also about 3 to 4 weeks ahead on Patreon on all the shows that I'm watching, so if you want to catch up, you can do that over there. So for this show in particular, if you're watching this on YouTube, I will already be like 3 episodes into season 2. So if you want to see all that, head over to Patreon, become a member, and you can catch up. And with all that said, fantastic season. Bravo. Bravo. So great. I can't wait to start season 2. And I'll see you guys in the next reaction.